Hello, my name is Jennifer and I'm here today to use the wonderful products of Cacique to make my Mexican-inspired mussels. I've been making mussels for ages, but ever since I started making them with the great flavors of Cacique, my family just can't get enough. So let's go ahead and take a look at the ingredients that we need to make this easy, delicious, and wonderful dish. The chips I'm using in this recipe. Have you ever been to a Mexican restaurant and you wonder how their chips are so good, but the ones you buy in the store just aren't as good? The secret is freshness. So all I did is I took some store-bought corn and flour tortilla chips. I took my handy-dandy little pizza cutter, cut them into wedges here, threw them in my Dutch oven at 350 degrees in a little bit of peanut oil, and sprinkled them with cumin and kosher salt when they got out. And these are the most delicious chips you will ever have. Better than ones you'd buy at a store, and you can cook them faster than it'll take you to the store to get a bag. So go ahead and fry your tortillas fresh. You won't regret it. So of course the first place we want to start with our Mexican-inspired mussels is with our Cacique chorizo. I have to be honest with you, the first time I used Cacique chorizo, I thought that I was going to have to add a lot of spices to it to kick up the flavor, but I was so pleasantly surprised that I don't need to do anything to it. It's amazing just the way it is. After all, Cacique's been doing it for 40 years. Of course they know how to make Mexican chorizo. It's got the paprika, it's got the beautiful color, it's got the peppers and the spices, and it's really, really a wonderful way to have a delicious dish without a lot of work. So what we're going to do first then is we're going to go on over here to the stove. I've already got my pan heating up, and we are going to just simply put our chorizo in our pan. We'll start to hear a little bit of a sizzle. Love that sound. And believe it or not, the minute it hits the pan, you can already smell the delicious flavors of the chorizo. That's what makes this dish so easy. All we have to do is use Cacique chorizo, and we have wonderful, amazing flavors. So I'm going to let that brown for just a little bit, get that cooked. Give my hands a quick wash here. And we're going to go with the only thing that we're really adding to the chorizo, and that's a little bit of onion. So when you cut the onions for this dish, you want to cut them in kind of big rings because we want to maintain the flavor against that really powerful flavor of the chorizo. So I'm just finishing up my one onion here. You can hear the chorizo sizzling in the background, and I wish you were here with me because if you could smell this Cacique chorizo right now, your taste buds would be watering just like mine are right along here. So I'm just going to finish up my onion. We're going to finish cooking that chorizo, remove it from the pan, and then we're going to add our onion in to caramelize in all of that delicious Cacique chorizo flavor. So the chorizo is browned. What I've done now is I've taken the chorizo out of the pot, put it in a little bowl next to the stove, and I've got my sliced onions. I'm just going to dump them in. Oh, listen to that sizzle. I'm going to dump them right into the pan in all of that delicious Cacique flavor and let those caramelize. Normally you want to give the onions about 15 to 20 minutes to caramelize. We want them to become a beautiful golden brown, bring the sugars out, have it mixed with all those spices of the Cacique chorizo, and it creates just a wonderful sauce for our mussels. So we're just going to leave those there, and we're going to go on and start with some of the other things to get ready for our dish. So while our onions are caramelizing, let's turn ourselves to the mussels. Great thing about mussels is you can get them just about anywhere these days, and they're cheap, and they're easy to make. How many things can you say that about? Cheap and easy together in one ingredient. We love that. I got 1.5 pounds of mussels for about $5. And that's going to feed probably 4 adults when we put all of our other yummy stuff with it. And there's just a little bit of preparation you need to do with a mussel. If you'll see right here, there's this little thread. That's called the byssal thread. That's what a mussel uses to attach itself to rocks or piers as it's growing. And we call that the beard. And we just need to de-beard the mussel before we cook it because that part's not very edible. And all you have to do is you just take the strings, you pull them towards the hinge of the mussel, and you just pull them out. And that's it. You've got the byssal thread, you put that in your thank you for coming pile, you take the mussel, you put it in here, and you're good to go. Now one thing you want to make sure is you're working through the mussels. If you see any mussels that are open like this one is, you want to clap it shut. And if it doesn't clam up, no pun intended, but if it doesn't clam up, that means the mussel has already died. And we don't want to cook dead seafood. We only want to cook live mussels. Kind of a general rule of thumb with mussels is, or with any seafood, better safe than sorry. So since this one is not clamming up for me, I'm going to go ahead and put that one to the side. But now my mussels are all ready to go, and as soon as the onions are done caramelizing, we're going to continue with our Cacique-inspired Mexican mussels. So our onions are now beautiful and delicious. They've actually taken on the wonderful colors of the Cacique chorizo. So we're going to pour our chorizo back in there. Look at that beautiful color. Now we're going to spread that around with the onions a little bit, get that all mixed in. Now we're going to put our mussels in, the ones that we've just bearded and cleaned. And now, party time, Mexican style. Not just one, but 2 bottles of Mexican beer. Oh wow, I wish you could see that foaming and fizzing. To add a little bit of Mexican flavor, can't leave out the tequila. I'm going to put a little tequila in there. A little bit more for fun. There we go. And we're going to put the lid on and leave these alone. And the great thing is, in only 4 minutes, we are going to have the most wonderfully delicious Cacique mussels. So now the moment of truth. When I lift this lid off, we are going to smell the incredible flavors of Cacique chorizo and our Mexican-inspired mussels. Oh, look at that steam. I'm just going to tilt the pan for you here so you can see how gorgeous. Look at that. Look at those mussels. Look at that bright, beautiful, wonderful color from the Cacique chorizo. And we're going to go ahead and finish this up. I'm just going to put them, I like to put these, ooh, look at that beautiful sauce. I like to put these in a beautiful big container so everybody can see how truly special what we're having is. And we just get some of the mussels in here. Make sure you get those onions, those caramelized onions, and make sure you definitely get all of that beautiful Cacique chorizo. You can see the chunks of chorizo on these mussels. Oh my goodness. This is why my family wants me to make these all the time. The colors are beautiful. The flavors are beautiful. It looks beautiful. Look at all those onions. Oh, and look at this big hunk of chorizo we definitely need to get. And we're not even done yet. We're going to make these even more special with a couple more Cacique products. Just put it over the top. So you just get all of your mussels out. Get this pan out of the way. And then we have some fresh lime that we just squeeze on there. Give it a little bit of an extra pop. Sprinkle some fresh cilantro on top, and a couple secret ingredients. Cacique cotija cheese, which grates beautifully. You don't want to grate it ahead of time. You don't want to buy it already grated. Would you look at how beautiful that is, and the cheese is starting to melt? And then my secret ingredient. Fresh chipotle chopped up, added to Cacique crema. A little bit of water to make it drizzle, and you just drizzle that spicy Cacique crema over your Cacique chorizo mussels. I don't think I can wait much longer. So look at this finished product. You have your fresh fried tortilla chip, your delicious Cacique chorizo, your Cacique cotija, your Cacique crema with your chipotle and adobo sauce with the delicious mussel, the caramelized onions, the beer, the tequila. I can't wait. I have to take a bite. Oh my goodness, I wish you were here. You can still taste the tequila and the beer, but the spiciness of the chorizo, so delicious. And all I have to say is you too can have these delicious Cacique-inspired mussels. All you need is Cacique chorizo, Cacique crema mexicana, Cacique cotija cheese, a little Mexican fire in fiesta, and you have a great day. I'm sorry you're not here to share this with me, but all you need is about 20 minutes, some great Cacique products, and you too can be enjoying this wonderful taste. Go Cacique, go Auténtico, and thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to dig in and eat more. Bye-bye.